Hi, my name is Will, and I like to talk about current events. So, this segment is something that I'll probably end up doing daily, which is where I talk about all the stuff that happens day by day. It is important to know that with current events, that things change all the time. So, something that I might say in this video might not be relevant next week. And just because some things are occurring doesn't necessarily mean that it's 100% important, it's just happening. So, to begin, Netanyahu is meeting with Trump today. This makes the fifth time during Trump's second presidency that Netanyahu has met with Trump. Um, Greta Thunberg's flotilla is supposed to reach Gaza tonight, which is accompanied by Spanish and Italian naval vessels. And this flotilla is supposed to bring aid to Gaza. More news in the Middle East. This morning, a UK shipping vessel was attacked by Yemen. There are no current casualties reported, but I will keep you all updated. This is very common, happens once a month, but it happens, so I'm going to talk about it. Moving on from that, moving back to Eastern Europe, there's been an increase in military air traffic on the border of Poland and Ukraine. This is most likely due to the increase in drones that have been flying through NATO countries in Europe. Putin has also ordered another 135,000 men to be drafted. This is the autumn draft. It happens a couple times a year. This is very common, not out of the ordinary. The Pentagon has also given Ukraine Tomahawk missiles. So with the range of the Tomahawk missile, it's 1,500 miles, which can reach inside of Moscow. That is important to know, mainly because Ukraine can't use these Tomahawk missiles without us because they don't have the technology. So this is somewhat of a joint operation if we end up using them. Same thing with the ATACMS back during Biden's presidency. They needed us to use them. We have also had an increase in tankers being moved to Europe, 8 to be precise, moved last night, and they refueled over in Europe, where I do not know. Now, it is important to note that the last time we saw a movement like this was right before the Iran strike, so take that into consideration, maybe even with a grain of salt, because it could be nothing. Now, moving away from the Middle East and moving back to the United States, there's been an increase in ICE protests in Chicago and Portland. There's even been some Blackhawks flown next to the ICE facility in Portland. Alongside that, with the protesters, most of them I've noticed from watching live protest videos day by day, most of them are the same. I'm not going to include a screenshot of that, mainly just for privacy. If you want to go see that, you can. But I have noticed that at least a couple people are the same, so most likely Antifa members. Another thing that I saw was during the Nepal Civil War, there was a flag being flown, which was the One Piece flag, which was seen a lot in many photos of the capital. And I have seen a couple of those being flown during these protests. So it's very symbolic, and yeah, so take that in with a grain of salt. Same thing with the Bella Ciao. A lot of people have been singing that during these protests, so something to think about. So that is all I have for today's segment. It is 12:30 my time, so stuff in the evening still hasn't occurred yet, which I will cover in tomorrow's news segment. And another thing to point out is most of the stuff that happens in Europe happens overnight due to time zones. Most military stuff happens at night, so for us that would be in the late evening, early AM for us. This happens in the morning, early morning I mean. But that is today's news segment. Please come again for tomorrow's news segment where I will talk about more current event stuff. Have a great day.